My dad and I were in the middle of a soccer match in the living room. You're not scoring today, old man! I smirked at my dad and kicked the ball, aiming at the fake goalpost behind him made with Mom's designer heels. It bounced off the couch, and Dad dived to catch it. But then the ball smashed into a glass lamp, shattering it into pieces.
Ooh, oh no, Mom's going to kill us.
She loved that lamp. We're toast.
Let's clean up fast and buy her a new one before she gets— Mike!
We're too late. Dad and I slowly turned our heads towards the doorway to see Mom fuming, her face red with anger. What was she doing at home so early? Mom stepped in, eyes blazing. She glanced at the shattered lamp, then the goalpost heels.
It's just a lamp. We'll buy a new one right away.
Just a lamp? What's next? TV? Windows? Want to wreck the whole house, too?
Come on, that's not—
Aren't you supposed to be an adult in this house? How is our daughter supposed to learn about responsibilities with a father this irresponsible?
You're overreacting. We were just—
Bad move. Never tell an angry mom she's overreacting. What did you just say? Overreacting?
Remy, dear, go to your room. Now.
Even after running out of the room, I could still hear their voices, screaming at each other with words I knew they didn't really mean. They'd fought multiple times before, but this time, things escalated to the point of no return. Dad packed a suitcase and walked out the door. Was this because of me? Hi, I'm Remy, the only girl on her school's all-boys soccer team. My only interest was scoring goals, not starring in a soap opera. But clearly, drama didn't get the memo. In life's latest curveball, Mom and Dad splitting up. Now my life had turned into a two-home tug-of-war. At Dad's, it's chaos and no bedtime. At Mom's, well, she found a reason to scold me for everything. But what really seemed to get under her skin most of all? My love for soccer. Ugh, did you play soccer again today? That time should have been spent on studying. Your grades are slipping. Mom, I'm literally doing my homework right now, and my grades are fine. Fine isn't good enough. While other girls are applying to Ivy League, you're out there chasing a ball. Well, actually, sports scholarships exist, and I'm doing pretty great on the field. Oh, come on, Remy. You're a girl playing on a boys' soccer team. You can't catch up to them. Why not? I've earned my spot. Maybe if you came to one game, you'd see that.
Ugh, I don't need to watch. I need you to focus on school. Either drop the team, or I'll talk to your teachers myself.
Then she walked away without letting me respond. But Mom just didn't get it. I didn't end up the only girl on our school's all-boys soccer team for no reason. Truth is, I'm really good. Like, leave them in the dust spinning and sulking kind of good. And Dad loves that about me. He'd never grill me about my grades or scold me for a messy room. Instead, we played soccer together in his backyard and even watched late-night games. Goal! Did you see that curve?
You should try that in your next game. When is it again? 2 months from now?
Yeah, if Mom doesn't assassinate my soccer dreams first.
Oh, she wouldn't do that. She's strict, yes, but she cares for you. Give her time. She'll come around. But promise me you won't quit soccer, all right?
Yeah, Dad had always got my back like that. But sometimes, I felt guilty for having such support. After all, I was the reason Dad left our home. Now, I felt like it was my duty to bring them back together again. Maybe if I were the perfect daughter, our family would reunite. So I started juggling between two worlds. Dresses and straight A's for Mom, muddy cleats and game day hype for Dad. Still, I could never get the two of them to be in the same room. I needed a plan to reunite our family. Quick. In the meantime, life decided to toss me a new subplot. It happened during practice. Lost in thought, I missed the ball and slept. But just before I hit the ground, a pair of strong arms caught me.
Careful there. I wouldn't want my favorite center midfielder to get an injury.
That was Cade, our team striker and the school's golden boy. I blinked up at him and ding! Light bulb moment. OMG! That's it! I can fake an injury!
What?
I threw my arms around him, a little too excited. It popped into my mind just then that if I faked an injury, the school would call both my parents and they'd have to talk it out. Then who knows? Maybe they'd work things out. A split second later, I realized everyone was staring at us in shock, including the cheerleading squad, aka Cade's unofficial fan club. Uh-oh, your groupie's glaring at us. Cade glanced at the cheerleading squad, then turned back to me, smirking.
I'm not dating any of them, but you seem jealous though. That's cute.
He gave me a wink before jogging off. Great, now my cheeks were heating up. Guys like him always knew exactly how attractive they were. But this wasn't the time to get distracted. I had parents to reunite. Later that day, I limped into the nurse's office, clutching my ankle and wincing like I'd twisted it. Of course, it wasn't that serious, but what mattered was that even though the nurse looked skeptical, she still called both my parents. Score! When they showed up and finally stood in the same room for the first time in what felt like ages, I thought, this is it. They'd start talking, and sooner or later, the family would be back together. But no. The second Mom saw my soccer uniform, her concern turned into rage. This is your fault. You keep pushing her to play. What if the injury's permanent? Mom, I literally walked in here.
See, she's fine. If anyone's pushing her, it's you and your Ivy League obsession.
And we're back to the usual arguing, yelling, and blaming. Operation Fake Injury Reunion? Yeah, massive flop. Time for Plan B. Operation Surprise Dinner Date. I made reservations under both their names at their favorite spot and had the manager call them separately with the same lie.
Congrats! You've won a complimentary solo dinner as one of our valued patrons.
After class, I sprinted to the restaurant and hid behind the bushes where I had the perfect view of their table. Mom arrived first. They served her favorite wine, something I'd requested ahead of time to help her relax. Mom took a sip and smiled. So far, so good. Now all I needed was for Dad to show up. But then, I suddenly heard a voice behind me.
Who are we stalking?
Jeez, Cade! You almost gave me a heart attack. What are you doing here?
I came to your class when you didn't show up for practice this afternoon and just, followed you here.
So you're stalking me. Cool.
Says the girl literally crouching in the bushes stalking her parents.
Shh! My tats arrived! Do they look cozy to you?
I can't tell. They're both smiling, I guess.
Oh no, that's Mom's fake polite smile. Not good.
Well, at least they're not fighting each other with butter knives.
I rolled my eyes and glared at him. He smiled back with a goofy, aloof grin, so different from his usual smug face. He looked cuter like this. I subconsciously softened my expression too, and... Oh wait! We were supposed to watch my parents! I turned my attention back to their table, but they were both gone. Where did... That was when I received a text from my mom. It read, "Go home now!" Yikes! Seemed like Plan B failed too then. When I got home, Mom was waiting for me with a kind of anger I'd never seen before. She was livid.
That dinner setup! What on earth was that? Is this another one of you and your dad's pranks?
Mom, please! This wasn't Dad! It was all me! I planned the whole thing because I just want you two back together.
I told you to focus on your studies. But here you are, wasting time on good-for-nothing shenanigans and completely dismissing my words.
Ouch. I was only trying to bring our family back together and make them happy again. But to Mom, I'd always be a nuisance. After that, she grounded me, banned me from soccer, and wouldn't even let me see Dad anymore. But I couldn't just give up soccer and stop seeing my dad just like that. So, I became a full-time ninja. I visited Dad in secret and lied to Mom about quitting the school's team. I also worked extra harder on schoolwork so Mom wouldn't get suspicious of my lies. I was living two lives at once, giving my 200% at all times. It was exhausting running around like that. Even soccer started to wear me out. I was struggling to keep up with the team during our warm-up jog and had to stop to catch a breath. Cade slowed down too.
Hey, you good?
Sure, just a bit tired.
Oh, come on. You've been just a bit tired for like 2 weeks straight. You've been off your game lately, missing shots that I knew normally you wouldn't. Something's definitely wrong.
Yeah, right. Even at my worst, I'm still the top player of this team.
I'm serious, Rems. Is this about your parents again? You know, you don't have to make their problem your burden. They're adults, after all.
I said I'm fine. Go away now, golden boy. Ugh, I couldn't stand it when people brought my parents up, especially when they didn't understand what's going on. Cade looked like he had more to say, but just then, the coach blew his whistle and the team gathered. I was lucky it was only a practice match, because, as it turned out, yeah, Cade was right. I was totally off my game. My legs felt heavier with each step, and the ball just seemed to roll farther away from me. I stopped mid-run, blinking hard. My vision was getting blurry. And then, thud. I stumbled and collapsed onto the field. The last thing I remembered before passing out was seeing Cade running towards me. When I opened my eyes again, I was lying on the bed in the nurse's office. And both my parents were there too. Whoa, talk about deja vu, huh?
Oh my gosh, Remy, you're awake. We got here as soon as the coach phoned us. What happened? Why didn't you tell us you were sick?
I didn't want you to worry. Before either of them could respond, there was a knock at the door. Then the principal stepped in with a concerned expression.
Good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Ring. And you too, Remy. I just wanted to check in. I'm afraid one of our top students here, Miss Remy, hasn't been quite herself lately. What do you mean? Nothing too extreme, but there have been signs. The coach said her performance has been inconsistent. Other teachers also expressed their concern because she often showed up to class looking tired. And topping it all off was today's incident. Is there any problem at home that we should be aware of?
I looked down, ashamed to have failed at being the perfect daughter. My heart was thumping, my hands trembled, and finally, my voice cracked. It's all my fault. I broke our family up, and I've been trying so hard to fix everything, but I only made it worse. If I were perfect, maybe our family would have still been together. Then came silence. My parents exchanged glances with each other and slowly came towards me, both wrapping me into a hug. I sobbed even harder. I hadn't felt their warmth in so long. When we got home, Mom and Dad sat me down for a talk. Remy, sweetie, we broke up because we weren't working out. It was never your fault. But the lamp! The fight!
That was just the final straw. You didn't cause it, dear.
We're sorry for being so hard on you. We should have been more attentive to your wants and feelings instead of imposing our own expectations.
We're so proud to have such a strong and thoughtful daughter like you. We'll be happy just seeing you enjoy doing whatever makes you happy.
I couldn't stop crying, but this time, they were happy tears. Even if my parents didn't get back together, we were still a family. Now, with a weight lifted off my shoulders, I owed someone else an apology and a thank you. And there he was, still looking annoyingly perfect, as always. Hey, Cade. I heard you were the one who took me to the nurse. Thanks a lot. And, sorry for snapping at you. That wasn't fair.
Glad to see you back to your old self, Rems. No worries. I figured you were probably dealing with a lot.
Aw, is that a secret soft side I'm sensing?
Shh, don't blow my cover.
He smiled, and I knew we were good. After all that, I returned to the field. The new sense of freedom made my feet feel lighter than ever as I ran across the pitch, playing like my heart was on fire. Mom started showing up to every game. Dad helped me with revision flashcards. They didn't get back together, but they were still my parents, and they became a team for me. And although my grades weren't Ivy League level good, a sports scholarship came through. My college journey was heading off to a great start. And guess who's also on the same campus? Yep, Cade. And as for us, let's just say the school's golden boy is now my own golden boyfriend.
Hi, I'm Andrea. People say I'm the kind of girl every parent wishes they had. Selfless, responsible, mature. After Mom passed away, I practically became a mini her myself. Every day, I cooked, cleaned the house, ironed Dad's shirt while trying to keep up with my schoolwork. Andrea! It's bedtime! Read a story for Mr. Snuggles and I! Aren't you too old for a read me a book mode? And seriously, no please? Please! Pretty please! Okay, fine. Come here, gremlin. Oh, that's Daisy, my ridiculously adorable little sister. And like clockwork, I was her official bedtime storyteller every night. Everyone in our town called me an angel, the perfect daughter. But what they didn't know was, at school, I was a nightmare. And not in the awkward, clumsy, clueless kind of way. I was one of them. The loudest, the baddest, the girls everyone whispered about. And yet, no one dared mess with. But believe it or not, it wasn't always this way. I used to be a nobody, the one others picked on or ignored. I'd watch popular girls like Taylor and Janelle from afar, wishing I had their confidence, their style, their swag. Until one day, I slipped them a cheat sheet in a math test and got them good grades. I became part of their crew, untouchable, feared. But I quickly realized it wasn't as cool as I thought. I had to laugh at jokes that weren't funny. Pretend it didn't bother me when they tore down a girl's confidence by ridiculing her thrift store shoes, and I was always doing their homework. Pretty much everyone, even the teachers, became targets of their bullying. Like one time, after a teacher made us mop the restroom for using our phones in class, Taylor and Janelle redecorated her car. What on earth? She fainted when she saw it. Of course we denied everything. We acted so innocent she ended up apologizing for accusing us in the first place. That was the power of the terrible trio. We ruled the school like it was our personal kingdom. Until junior year. We were just lounging in class like we owned it, when our new teacher entered. We didn't think much of her until she spoke. Hello everyone, I'm Miss Kim, your new teacher. Our new teacher? You look like you should be sitting here as one of us. Is she even old enough to give detention? Miss Kim didn't flinch. It was as if they weren't speaking to her, but she had heard everything. Oh, the terrible trio. I've heard so much about you. loud, disruptive, and severely lacking in substance. Hold up, did she just call us brainless? I could handle insults, but calling me brainless? I couldn't take that. We're not brainless. I'm pretty smart, if you must know. Our eyes locked then, and I swear it felt like a showdown in a Western movie. I heard. Straight A's and all that. But real smart girls don't trail after idiots who think a desk is a footrest and a classroom is their living room. Without a word, Taylor and Janelle glanced at each other, then slowly lowered their legs from the table. You walk around acting tough, but do you know what I see? Insecurity dressed up as attitude. Only weak people bully others to feel strong. And if that's all you got, then you're not just brainless, you're pathetic. At the end of her speech, the whole class started clapping like she just received a Grammy Award. I felt stripped, exposed, like Miss Kim had seen through me. We stormed out the hall the second the bell rang. Janelle and Taylor looked like they were ready to punch walls. I just wanted to crawl into a bed and forget about the humiliation, but they weren't letting it go. We need a revenge plan. She thinks she's so cool, huh? We'll show her. Let's see how cool she feels when her car tires are flat. Or when her windshield is painted with brainless in red. My mouth went dry when they both turned to me, their eyes gleaming with expectation. You in, Andrea? I hesitated. Miss Kim had this serious don't mess with me energy. But backing out? That meant slipping right back into invisibility. Okay, I'm in. We waited until sunset to sneak back into the lot. Taylor carried a can of spray paint. Janelle had a pocket knife for the tires. I was on the lookout, and my palms were all sweating. Do it fast. She leaves by 6. Before we could really do anything, flashlights hit our faces like spotlights.
Hey, what on earth are you girls doing?
We froze for a second. Then we ran. But it was too late. He had seen our faces. The next day, we were called in, and the principal gave us 1 week suspension. The moment the principal walked out, Janelle and Taylor looked completely unfazed. Sounds like we just scored a vacation. I tried to act cool too, but inside, I was freaking out. I could already see my dad's disappointed face. As if reading my mind, Miss Kim turned to me. Andrea, isn't there something you want to say? Like what? An apology, maybe. A promise that this won't happen again? If you mean it, I'll go to the principal myself and ask for leniency. I almost gave in, but one look at Taylor and Janelle's glaring faces, the apology got stuck in my throat. There's nothing I have to say. See you after 1 week. Once I said it, Janelle and Taylor grinned in approval, high-fiving me like I just made them proud. Fine then. Suspension it is. I just thought you were better than this, Andrea. For some reason, those words stung more than any punishment ever could. And when Dad got back, it was even worse.
Really, Andrea? A suspension?
I didn't do anything! We were just standing near the car!
Standing near the car with a knife and spray paint? Are those 2 friends dragging you into this? I know you, and you're smarter than this.
I'm not some little kid who gets dragged into something, okay? I can handle myself! Then I stormed off, heart pounding. Why didn't anyone get it? If I cut things off with Janelle and Taylor, I knew exactly what would happen, and I wasn't ready for that. The next morning, Dad's anger at me was like water under a bridge. But then he made an announcement that would change the course of my life forever.
Girls, there's someone special I want you to meet. She's coming for dinner at 7 and might stay a few days to get to know you both. So be on your best behavior, okay?
Yay! A new mommy! I've always wanted Dad to find love again, to be happy. But this felt sudden. Still, maybe a new mom meant no more playing chef, maid, and babysitter after school. Dad, are you sure?
Positive. You will love her. You'll see.
He wouldn't tell us her name. No photos either. Said he didn't want to ruin the surprise. As evening approached, Daisy and I got caught up in the excitement anyway. We even decided to bake a welcome cake for her. What if she's, really evil? Like the evil stepmother in Snow White? Then your big sis will turn into a dragon and devour her. Rawr! Around 7, I stood at the door with Daisy by my side, smiling as I held the welcome cake in my hands. But when I set my eyes on the woman that was supposed to be my future stepmother, my excitement turned to shock. Even the cake slipped off my hand and smashed into the ground. Miss Kim? Not the cake. We spent hours on that. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Daisy. Is she?
Yes, she's the one. And before you ask, no, I didn't meet her at your school. We have actually known each other long before she transferred to your school.
Then why didn't you say anything? She's the reason I got suspended.
No, she is not. I did ask her to show you some tough love, but I never thought you'd do something bad enough to get suspended. You and your friends brought that on yourselves.
So you teamed up with the villain behind my back? Great parenting.
Let's just talk over dinner.
Never. I'm going to bed. And maybe when I wake up, this will all just be a really bad dream. I didn't know whether to laugh or scream or both. But one thing was clear. There was no way I was letting Miss Kim become my stepmom. It was officially Operation Kick Miss Kim Out. So, when she cooked, I switched the salt with sugar. I was hoping Dad would see the kind of terrible cook she was, but...
You added sugar to the soup?
Sugar?
It's very avant-garde. I love it.
Dad proceeded to slurp from the bowl like he hadn't eaten for years. Soup sabotage was an epic fail. Next, I added dye to her shampoo. You think you're cool, Miss Kim? Let's make you Smurf level cool. And when she came out with a head wrap the next day, I thought I had finally gotten to her.
Honey, what's with the head wrap?
Blue's just my vibe now. Call me Aqua Kim. She proudly rocked the hair throughout the weekend because Dad said she looked stunning. My pranks were backfiring, only making him love her more. Time to re-strategize. If I could turn Daisy against her, Dad would have no choice but to end it. So I did something low-key evil. I took Daisy's favorite teddy bear and quietly tucked it into the donation box Miss Kim was packing. That way, when Daisy realized it was gone, I could put on my best concerned face and drop Daisy a little hint. Daisy was a wreck, and okay, I felt a tiny bit bad. But hey, at least she was mad at Miss Kim. Small wins. Miss Kim took Mr. Snuggles away. He was defenseless. Miss Kim stood there, genuinely confused.
I swear, I never seen that bear in my life.
Liar! His footprints was all over your room. That's evidence. I was sure that Daisy would be on my side now. But the next day, Miss Kim brought back Mr. Snuggles and held a tea party for Daisy. Just like that, Daisy forgave her. The woman was invincible. But I swore that even if the whole world accepted her, I still wouldn't. Not ever. Then the craziest thing happened. One day, our school arranged for some outing at the beach. While everyone else had fun, my so-called friends had a not-so-brilliant idea. Let's swim here. Are you blind? It says no swimming here. Relax, it's just a sign. You chicken now or what? I'm not chicken. Then prove it, Queen of Cool. Before I could respond, Janelle suddenly stepped behind me with a giggle. Here, let me help you. She shoved me into the water. My whole body felt numb at the sudden impact, and all I could feel was panic. Janelle! Taylor! Are you nuts? Come on, mermaids, swim a little. I can't! The current! It's too strong! I was terrified. The water dragged me like I weighed nothing. Even Janelle and Taylor started freaking out. Kick your legs, come on! I tried to, but then... Ow! My leg! A searing pain shot through my leg. I couldn't move. I was sinking fast. Help! The last thing I remember was their screams, and them running away. And then a strong pair of arms wrapped around me. Andrea, stay with me! Everything was a blur. Light, sound, movement. Miss Kim's face suddenly came into view as my eyes began to droop. She looked almost surreal. She hoisted me onto her back and turned toward the surface, kicking hard through the pull of the water. But then I felt a sudden jolt, and just like that, everything went black. I blinked awake with the sting of an IV in my arm. Daisy was clutching my hand. Dad was pacing nearby, worrying. And across the room, Miss Kim sat on another bed, her leg bandaged and propped up, her eyes fixed on me.
You're awake! Thank God!
You scared me! I thought we were gonna have to bury you in the sand! Forever! What happened?
Miss Kim saved you. Dove in like a pro.
She even hurt her leg! I couldn't believe my ears. Miss Kim was really the one that dived in for me? But it was a restricted area. That could have been...
Dangerous. Yeah, I know. But when I saw you sinking, nothing else mattered. I just had to get to you.
You didn't even hesitate, my love. But you! What were you thinking? Diving into that area like your brain's on vacation?
It wasn't me! My friends pushed me.
They what? And you're still calling them friends? You...
That's enough, dear. The school is already handling them. Right now, she needs rest, not more stress.
Later that night, when it was just Miss Kim and me, I knew I had to say something. I took a deep breath and let the guilt spill. I'm sorry, Miss Kim. I've been awful. The pranks, the sabotage. I even hid my baby sister's favorite teddy and framed you. I know I shouldn't hang out with them, but I don't want to be alone at school.
Andrea, don't let anyone make you feel lucky just to be tolerated. You are smart. You are brave. All you need is the right people around you, and you'll eventually shine.
I wiped my eyes, then reached out and gently squeezed her hand. Thanks for saving my life. And Welcome to the family. Janelle and Taylor got punished by the school, but they never apologized. So when I got back to school, I cut them off. And of course, they made sure to mock me every chance they got. Look who finally cut the cord. Do fake moms come with a remote control now? I bet she does extra homework for fun now. What a nerd. They hadn't changed. They were still loud, mean, and shallow. Looking back, I couldn't believe I once mistook that for friendship. Better a nerd than someone whose biggest achievement is ruling a lunch table. That comeback was exactly what they wanted. An excuse to throw a punch. They got right into my face, sneering. Someone's got guts now, huh? I've always hated you, little Miss Goody Two-Shoes. I could see their hands clenched like they were ready to fight. But before they could do anything, a car pulled up, rolling down its window. Is there a problem here? I felt relieved to see Daisy and Miss Kim, a.k.a. my stepmom. Nothing serious, Mom. We were just saying our goodbyes.
Good, because I will deal with anyone who thinks bullying my daughter is a smart idea.
You better run! She once made a high school senior cry without yelling! The moment Daisy finished her sentence, they exchanged nervous glances before retreating. Whatever. We were leaving anyway. Next time, can we bring popcorn? That was awesome! I learned it's better to be alone than to keep bad friends just to feel accepted. Bad friends drag you down, and sometimes straight into danger. But real friendship, even when there are occasional misunderstandings, can be life-saving. For me, my true friends became my family, and I wouldn't trade them for anything.
Ugh, who's calling at this hour? Orla, your sister is having a wedding this weekend. Make arrangements to attend. My sister Rowan is having a what now? She had never had a date, and she's only 19. Are you still listening, Orla? Surely you have a boyfriend by now, so bring him along. Boyfriend? Yeah, right. As if I haven't been absolutely caught up with school lately. No matter what I did, in Mom's eyes, I was always the idle one who partied around with boys, while Rowan was obedient and hard-working. Ugh! You see, my parents divorced ages ago, so I live with my father in Atlanta, and my mom and sister Rowan live in the suburbs of Denver with my grandma. It's been a long time since I've met her, so I wouldn't mind paying a visit on this occasion. Only, where am I meant to find a guy at this short notice? My dear hometown, it's been a hot minute. Oh, there's Paul. Sorry I kept you waiting. Let's go, gorgeous. Let me introduce my boyfriend, a local college boy that I found on the internet. Even though we're on business terms, look at him. Handsome, gallant, and polite. I hit the jackpot. As we pulled up at the house, I saw my grandma waiting outside with a casual-looking guy. Oh, he must be my future brother-in-law. I happily ran over to hug Grandma. Rowan, you're back. Mata has been waiting for you. My, look at our match made in heaven. Is she confusing me with Rowan? I was about to correct her when suddenly the guy pulled me close and said, We are indeed a charming couple, aren't we, honey? Excuse me? Where is he putting his hand on? And is his eyesight just as bad as Grandma's to think I was Rowan? Just then, Rowan stepped forward, but strangely, she just smiled at us, then linked arms with Paul. And this is my boyfriend, Grandma. Do you think we look great together? What's wrong with everyone? Had I been zapped into some parallel universe or something? Suddenly, Rowan dragged me across the garden. Then she told me how Grandma had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, which had progressed so quickly recently, meaning sometimes she forgets. Other times she remembers, muddling everyone and everything. Not wanting to upset or confuse her, my mom and sister decided to act according to Grandma's memories, including this wedding. And of course, that Mata guy is not my sister's real fiancé, just a close classmate. But now she's confusing the two of us, so the lead role in this wedding play is yours now. Grandma's memory was deteriorating. Yeah, that sucks. But was a fake wedding necessary? Also, the thought of pairing up with that rude Mata guy sickened me. No way! Listen to your sister, kid. Everyone is doing it for Grandma. Did he just call me kid? Okay, that's it. This guy needs to know his place. But before I could jump at him, both my parents appeared and started lecturing me. Ugh, whatever. I stood my ground. Faking a marriage is ridiculous. Happy now? Dad's little girl is acting spoiled again. Please, I raised her just fine. And you, if you'd taken care of your mother better, she wouldn't have been this way. Not again. They only see each other once every couple of years, but the bickering always followed almost instantly. What's going on? You two have never been at odds. What's wrong? At the sight of Grandma, Mom and Dad suddenly took a 180. A moment ago, they were screaming each other's heads off, but now they're being all smiley, lovey-dovey. How ridiculous. But did Grandma really not remember that my parents were divorced? Her condition seemed to be as bad as they said. This meant I had no choice but to go along with their plan to make her happy. However, I was no professional actor. Constantly improvising according to Grandma's memories was not easy, especially when I was stuck with the annoying Maida for a scene partner. My mind was too full of thoughts to sleep properly, so I got up extra early and went for a stroll in the garden. Out of nowhere, Maida ran to me and grabbed my hand. "Did you sleep well last night, Bae?" Huh? Who's he acting for? In this empty garden? Or is this just an excuse to touch me? I forced my hand away from his, but then he had the audacity to whisper in my ear. "Shush, Grandma's watching us from upstairs." Ugh, what a creep. Meanwhile, Rowan said she wanted to please Grandma, but actually, she wasn't even a little bit cooperative. At lunch, while I had to squeeze out a smile as Maida spoon-fed me soup, Rowan was being distant toward Paul, her boyfriend. "Paul, my sister also likes being fed." "Right, that's her favorite dish." Paul got the point right away, so he scooped up some soup and gave it to Rowan as Grandma watched expectantly. But for some reason, my sister seemed irritated, shoved his hand away, and said she's allergic to it, which was some total nonsense. Grandma was obviously discontent hearing that, then stood up to leave the table first. "What's the matter with you, Rowan? You didn't have to look so annoyed in front of Grandma. Why can't you just work with Paul?" "That's how Rowan's always been. She's shy and couldn't open up easily to strange guys as you can." What did she mean by that? Before I could reply, Dad came to my defense. "How can you say that? Isn't Orla trying her best to play her part and not make Grandma suspect a thing?" "Oh, so you two are doing great, and we're just ruining everything?" There they go again. Usually Rowan and I would just stand there and watch, because only our Grandma can stop their fights. And this time was no exception. As soon as they saw Grandma, my parents immediately turned around and held each other's hands. Maida was just as quick when he grabbed my arm as well as Grandma's, and then invited us for a walk. "Hey, who are you? Why are you being so friendly to us?" Oh dear, it was only a few seconds ago and her memory of him had already vanished. I immediately said Maida and I went to the same college and he was visiting me. I thought that was it, but no. Speaking of college, she immediately asked why we were home when we should be at school. The whole family froze at her reaction. My parents carefully mentioned the wedding to see if she remembered anything, but she snapped. "How can you talk about marriage when my 2 grandchildren are still of school age? Have you two lost your mind?" So, the next morning, I had to go to the university with Rowan. But the cherry on top was riding this tiny pink bicycle together per Grandma's order. This was embarrassing, but how can we refuse? She only recalled the old memories. So I wandered around here all day waiting for Maida and Rowan to finish their classes. Suddenly I spotted Paul with some girls. "Hey, what are you doing here?" "Oh, Orla, I'm just giving directions to these freshmen. Actually, I'm waiting to pick up your sister." Wow, Paul seems to have a real crush on Rowan. I have to help my timid as a hare sister seize the opportunity. I took Paul to the lecture hall just as class was wrapping up, then pushed Rowan towards him, wished them a happy outing, and quickly pulled Maida away to give the couple some space. Finally, I could go home. But just as we reached the college gate, we saw Dad helping Grandma come this way. Seeing my face turn pale, Dad immediately explained that Grandma thought today was my first day of college, so she insisted on coming to pick us up. Jeez, it was bad enough coming here on a tiny pink bike. I drew the line at my dad and Grandma picking me up. I wasn't a preschooler. I was assigned to tidy the football field. It's my turn on duty today. Don't wait for me. Oh, is that so? Take your time. I'll look around for a while. I looked at Maida, hoping he had some idea to get me out of this, but he just grinned and took the broom from me. "Come on, let's clean up this place." I was only gonna fake cleaning a bit, but turns out Grandma's the most meticulous supervisor ever. "Orla, there's some trash over there. Look closely, honey, there are dry leaves in the corner. Then, you have to wipe these stains with a wet cloth." As soon as she went away, I lay on the field, panting with exhaustion. "Aren't you tired?" Oh man, I'm already drained out. Can't imagine how bad it's gonna get for me at Grandma's age. Poor her. It's scary how one day we might forget our family. Birth, aging, sickness, death. These are things we can't change. Orla, but one thing we could do is cherishing every moment with our loved ones, as these times are special. I was so wrong when initially I considered Maida as an impolite, annoying person. His deep thoughts made me feel comfortable enough to pour my heart out about my family. Why my parents divorced, why I didn't visit Grandma as much as I should have, and all the fights with my sister Rowan. We talked loads, and it felt like we've known each other forever. That night I kept tossing and turning, and couldn't stop thinking about how Maida diligently helped me clean up, about our conversation in the afternoon, and the way he helped me stand up. Oh, what's wrong with me? It's undeniable that this side of him is so attractive. But there's one problem. When we were leaving, he said to me, "See you tomorrow, Rowan." Yes, Rowan. How could he? Was it because all these acts in front of my grandma got him mixed up? Or is it because she's always on his mind? Never mind. It's none of my business. The next day I was sick of strolling around the campus, so I went to class with Rowan and Maida. Rowan's right. They seemed really close. During the lesson, both of them listened attentively to the lecturer, then turned to discuss with each other. Maida also patiently explained the part Rowan didn't understand to her. "Hey, what are we gonna have for lunch? What's good in the canteen?" "You will take this course next year too, so focus." And then they got back to their discussion, as if I was invisible. Ugh, how frustrating. Hey, are you jealous? Don't be, we're just friends. Why did she say that? Jealous? That's absurd. Still sulking? How about we go to the cinema tonight? I'll help you too. And here we are. As planned, I would sit next to Maida while Rowan would be with Paul. Sounds good. But when Rowan was about to settle next to Paul, Maida immediately took that seat. So he didn't want to sit next to me, or he didn't want Rowan to be with Paul? Either way, he obviously didn't have feelings for me. As soon as the movie ended, I rushed out of there, just to catch some familiar sight of Grandma and Dad again. She started nagging and insisted on escorting me home. "Why are you still out here at this hour, Rowan? There was a lot to prepare for the wedding." Now the wedding's back on? Oh dear, you two. A groom-to-be shouldn't be playing around like this. Paul? Why don't you pair me with Maida like before, Grandma? After all, we were back to our former partners. I'm with Paul and Maida with Rowan. Well, it's just a fake wedding, so it doesn't matter who I was marrying to, right? But what was this uneasy feeling? And then, it's like Grandma had telepathy to hear my wish. Right before the ceremony started, her memory suddenly reset. "What are you doing sitting here? It's time! Get up there!" She dragged Maida to the altar and told the best man, Paul, to step aside. Oh, how cute. And everything after that was like a dream. I walked down the aisle. Maida gently looked at me and sincerely made the vow. His acting was flawless, while I was buzzing with nerves. Sensing this, he gently held my hands to calm me down. I do. The crowd burst into applause, and among them I spotted Grandma's joyful face. Despite the exciting moment, I didn't let myself forget another important mission, which was helping my big sister to get a boyfriend. So I threw the bouquet to Rowan and winked at Paul. But weirdly, she didn't seem happy about this. That evening, after all the guests left, I went to look for Maida. To be honest, I really wanted to know if he felt the same as me. Here he was, but why did he look so agitated? I was about to call him, when out of the blue he bolted to punch Paul, repeatedly. "You jerk, stay away from Rowan, got it?" What's going on? They're fighting because of Rowan? So Maida really was pretending at the ceremony? He liked Rowan, not me. Didn't you say you're just friends with Maida? What's all this? Friends don't get jealous when someone else is flirting with you. Orla, it's not what you think. Knew it. She thought she could fool me again? I turned around and was about to chase after Paul to check on him, but someone's hand grabbed mine. It was Maida. "Paul is not as kind as you think he is." Turned out the reason why Rowan was awkward around Paul was because he always tried to touch her. Not to mention girls on social media were calling him out for taking advantage of them and cheating on them. Both Maida and Rowan knew it all, but they tried to put up with it through the wedding. However, he kept crossing the line, so today Maida decided to teach him a lesson. "So how I acted at the movies that day and just now was to protect my friend, not because I'm jealous." I didn't know he did so much for my family. "Orla, how come you're here? Isn't it still the school year? And also, your parents are so weird. When did they make up with each other?" "Oh,
She called me by my name. She even questioned who Maida was. Her memory seems to be perfectly back. Thinking our grandma had recovered, Rowan quickly called our parents. We were over the moon thinking a miracle had happened. But then, the doctor crushed our newfound joy, saying it was a phenomenon called terminal lucidity, meaning our grandma didn't have much time left. None of us wanted to believe it, but there was nothing else we could do but make the most out of the precious little time we had left with her. I also decided to put college on hold to live with Grandma during her last days. Each morning, we would go for a walk together as I listened to her stories of the old days, and then share with her some of my fondest memories. Mom and Dad still bicker and then make up. Some things never change. But Rowan and I are getting along much better. Turns out we have more in common than we realized. And Maida, he still comes over to visit Grandma. Then one day, Maida was saying goodbye to me when Grandma suddenly shouted out loud, "Where do you think you're going? Still got loads to prepare. You think the wedding is a joke or something?" Wedding again? We froze and looked at each other till Grandma yelled at us a second time. But this round, maybe Maida and I wouldn't need to act anymore. Because when I asked him if he was ready to take a vow again, he replied, "Of course, Orla. I'm always ready to say those words to you every day."
I was planning a bank robbery with these dudes I hired online. They claim to be ex-criminals, so it's going to be a big haul. We identified the subject, ran through the script one more time, and then headed to the bank. But when we got there, I was speechless! Hi, my name is Jolie. Wondering how I ended up robbing a bank? Come on, I'll take you on a wild ride. I come from a happy family with a mom and dad who always showered me with unconditional love. In fact, they were so perfect, I don't think they'd ever argued about anything. Growing up, I was taught to be a good person and prioritize school for future careers. I did just that, and they were so proud. But then one day, I came home to shocking news. Mom and Dad were getting divorced. But why?
Honey, this was the best for both of us. We're just not that compatible.
Not compatible? Did you just figure it out overnight? Sweetie, I know this is hard, but we're gonna be okay, I promise. No, we're not. We're a broken family and you just act like it's nothing. Do you even care at all? Days later, I still couldn't get my mind off it, until I passed by this restaurant and saw a familiar figure. Was it Dad? Holding hands with a strange woman? What the freak? Dad's been cheating on Mom? I immediately dashed home to tell Mom, but when I got there, I didn't have the heart to break it to her. Mom, you okay? It's just that the divorce has been hard on me. I respect your dad's decision, but this is really hard for me. You're the only family I got now, Jolie. No, she's wrong. I won't let her be this brooding ex-wife of Dad. I'm gonna get him back to her, once he sees how his beloved daughter is being affected by this divorce. So the next day, I went to the park and picked the flowers in public. Well, not exactly, but it's bad, right? Then I crossed the street when the sign said stop, but the policeman didn't even bat an eye. Hello? I'm breaking the law over here. Okay then, Mr. Whitman's restaurant we go. I didn't order anything, but just drew all over his wall, in chalk. Well, you don't want it to stay forever, right? But Mr. Whitman appeared and thanked me instead, as I gave him the best ideas to keep the kids entertained while eating in his restaurant. Ugh. Frustrated, I read the whole book at the bookstore without paying, littered in public, and even kicked some trash cans over, but nobody seemed to acknowledge my bad deeds. So I binge-watched some crime movies to activate my evilness. Aha! A robbery! That's why I hired those idiots. Gold Beach Bank and Trust, not Gold Beach the hat shop, you imbecile! Sorry, my mistake. We went ahead with the robbery anyway and managed to steal a bunch of hats, and I made sure to accidentally drop my wallet with my ID inside. The next day, I came home from school to see the store's owner raging at Dad, accusing him of bad parenting. But Dad stayed oddly calm and just paid for all the hats I stole. What?
Go get ready. You and I are going to dine out tonight. There's someone I want you to meet.
Let me guess. It's the side chick I saw the other day.
Jolie, this is
Aurora. I'm your dad's friend.
Aurora. We should tell her.
Oh, drop it! I knew already. You two have been having an affair, haven't you?
Jolie, watch your words.
Why? Because it's the truth? Dad was about to say something, but Aurora stopped him. I can't believe you do this to Mom. I ran out of there and hid in this alley, crying with an aching heart, when I spotted some guys looking sketchy. They had a suitcase full of money and kept looking around cautiously. Suddenly, I stepped on a squishy, and it made the loudest noise and got them all to turn towards my direction. I immediately ran away before they spotted me and bumped into someone.
Who's that? Show yourself!
The guy instantly understood the situation and hid me away.
Just a cat, Lalo.
After the gang left, I stepped out to thank him, and my, such a heartthrob. I was going to offer to repay him, but he just brushed it off and walked away. So freaking cool! Later, I got home and saw Mom packing. She said she'd move out soon. And Dad didn't even stop her. Suddenly, I noticed something. Pictures of Mom and Aurora! Mom, you know this woman? Aurora? Yeah, we've been friends since middle school. Friends? She's not your friend. She and Dad have been having an affair behind your back. It's really over, isn't it? No, Mom! You need to stand up for yourself. If you don't do anything, then I will. There's only one way now. Get the school involved. If they see a straight-A student like me suddenly turn rebellious, they'll talk some sense into Dad, right? But of course, I need to make sure my bad deeds are legit this time. Suddenly, I noticed everyone buzzing around. Oh my god, did you hear? We got a new transfer student, and he's got such a bad boy vibe. Tell me about it. He's been the hottest topic ever since he got here. Oh my god, he's coming this way. I turned around and my jaw dropped. It was the guy I met yesterday. Suddenly headed straight to me.
There you are.
You're looking for me?
No, but I'm just tired of people surrounding me. Let's get out of here.
So, transfer student, huh? What happened to your hair?
Just thought I'd change it up a little. You know, more appropriate for school.
Wait, aren't you like some kind of bad boy? Why are you following the rules?
I got a bit of a reputation, but I'm ready to change my ways.
No, good guys finish last, didn't you hear? That's why I'm trying to change too, to spice things up a bit. So, please, teach me to be a delinquent.
If you wanted that bad, then sure.
Yay! Thank you! You're gorgeous, man. Oh, and a jacked bod, too. Tyler and I started my new rebellious plan.
Okay, show me what you got.
I immediately went straight to a group of nerds, slammed my hand on the table and snatched a guy's burger and started mooching off it. Here's some fries. Did your parents starve you? No! I immediately stood up and left, and saw Tyler, who was laughing at me hysterically.
That's your idea of being mean?
I know I'm bad, that's why I need you to enlighten me. Tyler then taught me some pranks, and it was hilarious! We kept the door shut with 20 different locks and enjoyed seeing the teacher struggling to crack them all open. Got the screen to show a bunch of memes during class, then played a bell ringing sound every 15 minutes, confusing everyone. The cherry on top was to get loads of adult diapers shipped to our beloved principal, cash on delivery. When the principal asked who did it, I proudly took the fall.
Do you care to explain yourself?
Principal, I may look bad right now, but that's because my parents are getting divorced. I can't eat, can't sleep, my mind's a mess.
All right, I get it. Jesus. I'll have a talk to your parents. You can leave now.
Father dearest, let's see how you handled this. When I got out, Tyler was waiting for me. He drove me away, then stopped by this gorgeous lake.
You didn't just rebel because you were bored, right?
I sighed, then started pouring it all out that had been bottling up inside of me.
Guess having a normal family is luxury to both of us.
What do you mean?
I actually grew up in an orphanage, but I wasn't happy there, so I ran away. I ended up on the streets and causing trouble. Luckily for me, my foster dad noticed and adopted me. I'm extremely grateful to this day, so I'm always looking to help him with the business.
Your dad has a business? What does he do? Tyler didn't answer me. When we got back, Aurora was already there waiting for me. What are you doing here? Your dad went on a business trip and asked me to come over to look out for you for a few days. No, thank you. I can look out for myself.
And who is this young man? Have we met before?
Would you please stop poking your nose into my business? Can't believe Dad still went ahead with the divorce after meeting with the principal. And now I'm stuck here with this annoying woman. Just wouldn't let me leave the house and even ordered this rubbish dusk till dawn curfew on me.
You're not going to see that guy. He's trouble.
Please, you're not my mom. So I continued meeting up with Tyler. But strangely, whenever I suggested we hang out at his place, he always seemed hesitant. So one time I went to his house to surprise him, but upon seeing me, he looked so worried.
What are you doing here? You're not supposed to come here. We have a guest today.
I turned around and was transfixed to see the sketchy guy from the alley.
Lalo, I'm Tyler's dad. You must be...
Jolie.
Oh, right, Jolie. Tyler told me lots about you. Come on in. Be my guest.
But Tyler pulled me out of there. We stopped at a nearby park when he finally loosened up a little. That man was your foster dad?
Yeah, I just couldn't tell you the truth. I'm afraid you wouldn't want me around anymore.
That's not true.
You don't get it. He's running an illicit business and now he's asking me to take over. I know I'm deeply indebted to him, but I don't want to do anything illegal.
Then don't. Just because he brings you up doesn't mean you have to do everything by his orders, especially breaking the laws, right? Tyler nodded, but still seemed troubled. That evening, Tyler was driving me back home when I suddenly saw a familiar face. I told him to drop me off there. Inside, Aurora was sitting side by side with a man, both looking all dressed up. Across the table was another person. What was she up to?
I'm telling you, this pair of top-notch diamond rings is perfect for your wedding.
Right. We only want the best for our wedding. Right, babe? Wedding?
Those two? She's two-timing my dad. I quickly recorded their conversation and went home. Dad should be back tonight from his business trip. But when I told Dad everything, even with the recording, he still wouldn't believe me. What are you talking about? I was just out shopping all day with my friends. Told you so. Dad, you'll regret this deeply. And you, don't even think you could get away with this. I'll never accept you into this family. Tomorrow, the court will decide who I'm going to stay with. I know just what to do. I can't be in this house any longer. At the court, I stood up, to everyone's surprise, and spoke about how I got mistreated at home with Dad and Aurora, and asked to stay with my mom. The judge then asked Mom what she thought. I'm not so sure. Jolie should just stay with her dad. I was completely disappointed. Mom wouldn't even fight for me. When we got home, Dad immediately went bonkers on me while Aurora pulled off her nice act again. Right then, I got a text from Tyler asking to meet up, so I just stormed out of there. No, Jolie, wait up! When I arrived, Tyler looked surprised. Jolie, what are you doing here? Mijo, I used your phone to ask her to come here. Lalo then ordered his gang to tie me up. I was struggling to get away when someone rushed towards us. Lalo! Wait, Aurora? She knew this gangster? Release her now, or the police will get here any minute. Thanks for the intel, Miss DEA agent. We're about to leave. With your daughter, of course. Now, if you want to save her, fill in the place. DEA agent? As in, undercover cop? Fine, take me instead. Lalo's gang tied her up and pushed her into the van. That's right. Boys, take this brat too. We can't spare any witnesses on the scene. We had a deal, Lalo. Really? Didn't ring a bell. He ordered Tyler to drive away while the police siren was getting louder. Suddenly, Tyler took a turn. What are you doing? That is not the way! While they were distracted, Aurora slipped out the multi-tools in her pocket and started cutting the ropes around my hands. I did the same to her. Tyler then made a sudden stop. Lalo and the gang lost his balance and fell to the floor. The police immediately surrounded the van and captured these criminals. Jolie, you were right. You didn't get hurt anywhere, right? Yeah, thank you for saving me. And I'm sorry for acting so rude. It's just, I'm not ready to move on from the divorce yet. Sweetie, there's something really important I want to tell you. I'm your biological mother. What are you saying? Jean is my biological mother. No, sweetie. She's a friend of mine. I know this is all confusing, but just listen. 16 years ago, your dad and I had you. Right after giving birth, I had to move to Mexico to handle a serial diamond smuggling case caused by Lalo. And Jean offered to help out with you. I figured you deserve a normal, happy family, so I accepted her help and asked her to move to our house. Years later, thinking the case was finally closed, I moved back home, ready to reunite with you and your dad. But I suddenly got the news Lalo's organization was still operating and had to move to the States. I couldn't risk putting you in danger, so I hid the truth from you. But what about the person who talked about the wedding with you? Oh, that's Alejandro, my partner. We were just pretending to be a couple for the investigation. Oh, I had no idea. You've done so much for me. Of course, you're my daughter. Thank you, Mom. Finally, everything became clear. But as we got to the house, Jean, suddenly came dragging me away. You're my daughter. No one gets to take you away from me. Just because you raised Jolie doesn't mean you get to do anything to her. If you truly love her, you would only want the best for her. Jean then broke down crying, revealing she had lost her reproductive ability. She was so happy she had me to take care of and treated me like her own daughter. Hey, don't worry. You'll forever be my mom. I gave Jean the biggest hugs. That's when I noticed Tyler was happy for me, but sad at the same time. I suddenly realized he didn't have a family anymore. I have an idea. Why don't you adopt Tyler into your home? Tyler and Jean looked at each other, and bright smiles appeared on their faces. Everything finally turned out to be okay. I've been trying to catch up with Mom and make up for all those lost years, but I also don't forget my second mom either. Tyler, or should I say my boyfriend, now lives with Jean, and he's driving me to visit her. I'm so happy I finally have a loving family and a baddie boyfriend. Only this time, we're not trying to break bad anymore.
This was my first day at my new school, and so far, it was going pretty well. Can you believe the principal himself was giving me the guided tour, as well as showering me with praise?
Amber, with your impressive grades and outstanding academic achievements, you'll fit in nicely here. This is Leo, my son. He's another excellent student here, and he's going to show you around.
Leo looked at me from head to toe, then smiled and winked at me. Huh? Was he checking me out?
And here's the library. Maybe we could study here together sometime.
Sorry, but I prefer to study alone. Right at that moment, a guy walked past us to the librarian's desk. Oh my God! He totally had this whole cool bad boy look going on. I zoomed in to see what book he was holding. The Orion Mystery? Wow, nice taste. I've been really into ancient stuff these days too. Leo must have noticed me staring at that guy as he snidely said, "I'd steer clear of the likes of him if I was you. His grades are pathetic, and he's probably only in here so he can take a nap. He's below your league, while I'm far more suitable." Thanks for showing me around, but seeing your smug and scornful attitude towards others proves otherwise. Then I left, leaving a stunned-looking Leo behind. I found my class easily enough, even without Leo's help. And my desk, yeah, there was no missing that. I mean, the huge bouquet with my name on it and a welcome hamper full of candy was a dead giveaway. And apparently, it was from the principal. Whoa. I knew he was glad I was here, but wasn't this a bit too much? Anyway, I shared all the flowers and candies with my classmates to get to know them better. So far, so good. And these two sweet girls, Jane and Ellie, walked to the canteen with me and showed me how to get the lunch tray using my student QR code. But then they pointed over to a group of students sitting next to the window and told me to go sit with them. Huh? Why can't I sit with you? You're not one of us. Then they went and joined another group. What did they mean by that? I looked around and noticed there were two menus, a delicious-looking one on the red board and a bland one on a blue board. It seemed the boards correlated to the trays, as more kids than not had the blue trays with the dull foods. I took my red tray full of tasty food and walked over to the window, where all the kids were sitting with red trays, including Leo. There's something really strange about this school. I was pretty awkward and didn't know what to do when I saw the Orion Mystery Boy walking in with a blue tray. So, without thinking, I approached him. "I saw you this morning in the library. You were checking out my favorite book." "So, should I return the book or what?" No, I just want to make friends." "Stop hanging out with this loser. A straight A student like you should sit with us. We're different. See?" This was so stupid. So I told Leo I didn't need colored trays to tell me who I could and couldn't talk to, and that I was fully capable of making my own mind up. Leo and his friends looked furious, while the Orion Mystery Boy just grinned. Suddenly, a girl in the group spoke up with a super cold tone. "Don't worry, Leo. This new girl will soon figure out what losers they are." Then she signaled for the whole group to leave. After that, the Orion Mystery Boy and I started talking, and he finally told me his name. It's John. The blue tray kids were really nice. Way nicer than the red tray ones. I asked John what the deal with the trays was, and he said that this school divided its students into two groups. The red were top achievers, and therefore got better food, cleaner spaces at the canteen, just everything. While the blues were made to eat bland food and squashed into the corner of the canteen. Poof! This whole thing was dumb. So I continued hanging out with John and his friends. Only Leo and that girl he was with, Quinn, didn't approve. Turns out she's the best student around here, and that made her the leader of the Reds. On many occasions, Quinn and her minions had pulled me aside after class to tell me I should stay away from the blues. But I didn't care. Then one day, the school announced that it was looking for the next school president. I wasn't that interested in it, but my friends were eager for me to sign up. "If you're president, then you could make things fairer around here." "Right. Better food, better tables and chairs. Please, we need you." Well, they did have a point. I really wanted them to have better things. And I suppose being school president would look good on my profile. So I signed up. But wow, I didn't think I'd be this popular. My friends completely supported me, made colorful banners, and helped me come up with catchy slogans. And you know what? In the end, I got to the final round. Whoop! Now all I had to do was beat Quinn. But then something awful happened at the school. I arrived to find a bunch of students gathered around something. I squeezed through the crowd and... Oh my God. The principal's beloved portrait was covered in red paint. Then across the loudspeakers, 2 names were called to the principal's office. John's and mine.
Do you 2 know why I've summoned you here?
John and I shared confused looks.
No, huh? My portrait has been vandalized, and I know that Amber, you were the last one who passed the security guard yesterday. And John, you were caught on CCTV climbing over the back gate. Can you both please explain what you were doing so late at school?
I couldn't find my math book, and I have an important math test coming up. So I came back to try and find it.
And what about you, John? I knew it. An exemplary student such as Amber would never do such a thing. But a troublemaker like you, on the other hand, you're expelled. I didn't do it.
Please reconsider, sir. Please give me some time so I can find the one who's responsible.
Very well. Seeing as it's you, Amber, I shall allow you 1 week to prove this boy's innocence. Or his guilt.
When we left the office, I asked John why he was sneaking about the school late at night, but he got all defensive.
I had a thing, and it's none of your business. If you want to believe it was me, then do.
Didn't you see what I just did? I defended you. Can't you just tell me?
I had a thing, okay? My thing that you don't need to know.
Then he left. I stood there feeling confused when Quinn, Leo, and their group walked towards me.
Don't waste your time with him. Sooner or later he's gonna be expelled. Right, Quinn?
But Quinn ignored him, then gave me a dagger look. I'm gonna say this one last time. Stay away from him. Then they all left. Why was Leo so sure that John would be expelled? I know they all hated John, especially Quinn. Could it be that they framed him? Well, there's only one way to find out. I needed to keep a close eye on Quinn and see what she was up to. So after school, I followed Quinn all the way to the harbor. It's like she was waiting for someone.
What on earth are you doing?
My God, I had to press my hands over my mouth so I didn't start screaming. Turns out he noticed that I was following Quinn, so he followed me too in case I do something stupid. Suddenly, Quinn took her phone out to call someone. But then a strange thing happened. John's phone started vibrating. Why is Quinn calling you? John took his phone out and showed me the screen.
It's just my mom.
And when I turned around to see what Quinn was doing, she'd gone. Ugh, I lost her. I've been following Quinn for a whole week, but it's led to nothing. I was so deep in my thoughts that I accidentally dropped someone's backpack and all their stuff fell out. Ugh, it's Quinn's. Better pick everything up before she comes back. But then I saw something that caught my attention. It was a receipt for red paint. Jackpot. I knew it was her. John was skipping classes today, so I took a detour to his house after school to tell him. Huh? Why was Quinn standing outside his door? There was something seriously fishy going on here, so I followed them. They stopped at an abandoned house nearby, and I eavesdropped on their conversation. I think Amber knows something. Last time, we were lucky she didn't catch us dating at the harbor. But this time, what if she finds out? I've been working so hard for this school president campaign.
I knew she'd go back for her math book. It would have been fine if the school didn't have that new camera at the back gate. Tomorrow I will confess to the principal that I did it. You didn't do it yourself anyway.
Oh God, I couldn't believe it. Turns out Quinn was meeting John at the harbor, so when she called someone, it was actually him. But being an expert at this secret dating game, he had her number saved as Mom. They were hiding their relationship this whole time. And worse, they tried framing me so Quinn would win the election. Unbelievable! I couldn't stay quiet any longer, so I stepped out in front of them, told them I'd heard everything and that I was going to tell the principal. Then I ran off without letting them say a word. The next day, I was en route to the principal's office when I passed Quinn tearing down her election posters on the wall. Why are you doing that? It's okay. I know I don't deserve to be school president. I thought you wanted to be president more than anything in the world. Why else would you play dirty tricks on me? So, Quinn explained to me that she was running for school president to eliminate the discrimination here, so that she didn't have to hide her relationship with John any longer. Oh, wow. I didn't know. I didn't expect her to have such a meaningful motive behind all this. My plan was just to fight for better things for the Blues team. But man, Quinn had a vision to change this whole school. Impressive. And there's one more thing. Since you're the principal's favorite student, we were afraid that if you become school president, despite your best efforts, things here would only get worse. So there was no other way for us. We had to. I'm sorry. It seems like I misjudged Quinn, and I didn't want John to get expelled, so I said that I'd take the blame for the portrait incident. But it's all my fault. You don't need to do that. No worries. I'm sure to ace the math test and win a prize for the school, so there's no way he's gonna punish me. So at recess, I was heading to the principal's office, but before I could get there, I found myself being dragged into the janitor's closet. Oh, it was John. He was feeling guilty and didn't want me to take the fall. I was about to reply to him when I heard two familiar voices in the science room next to us. It was Quinn and Leo. Oh my God, we could hear them clearly through the ventilation hole. I can't believe it worked. Amber is such a fool. There's no way she'll be allowed to run for president and victory will be mine.
So, are you really going to remove the division between the two groups just to freely date your stupid boyfriend in public?
Are you fooled by that too? Of course I won't. No way. That was only to trick Amber and John. What I'm gonna do is make sure all troublemakers are gonna be kicked out of school. What? I got played? Again? Ugh! I turned to John and, oh man, he looked disappointed. Don't worry. I know a way to get back at them. On election day, Quinn gave her speech, and unsurprisingly, she went on about how the red group brings more to the school and therefore deserves their privileges. She really believes she could make a fool out of this Amber, huh? When I stepped out on the stage, her jaw dropped. Yeah, Quinn, I didn't confess to the principal. Giving speeches in front of a crowd wasn't something new to me, so I was super confident. I'm sure you're all aware of how this school operates. We're divided into two groups and get treated very differently. What I see here is discrimination and prejudice, when in reality, this should be a safe place for all students to strive and reach their full potential. So, I'm standing here today to tell you that if you choose me to be your next school president, I will break the barrier. Let's say goodbye to red and blue trays and hello to fairness and equality. After my speech ended, the crowd went wild. Wow! And surprisingly, some of the red group were cheering me too. You're probably wondering why I didn't expose Quinn in front of the whole school, right? As I see it, she'd had a massive reality check, so I think that was enough. I also spotted the principal quietly sneaking off with his head down, in the midst of cheers the whole school gave me. Could you guess who won? Yeah, me of course. John came on stage and handed me flowers in front of a furious-looking Quinn. I walked towards her and whispered, "Let's see how you're gonna get rid of the troublemakers now." She just sneered at me, then stormed off the stage. Later, we heard that Quinn confessed all to the principal. Then she transferred to another school. What about me? Well, after I became school president, I stuck to my promise and began making some serious changes to the unfairness of the school. And John, did we become a couple, you ask? Oh no, we're just close friends.
It's been a long time since I was able to enjoy myself at a party. It sure felt good. Now just one thing left to make this night even more perfect. I'm going to make my crush mine. There he is, Jad. OMG. Did he just glance at me? I could feel my heart flutter. As I immersed myself in a world with only Jad and me, the face of Harry the Metal Mouth suddenly popped up from nowhere.
It's time for bed, Mommy's little princess.
What on earth was he saying? And why was everyone running toward the window like that? I jostled into the crowd and I peeked down. Oh, for heaven's sake! The beyond cringy woman standing there holding the speakerphone was none other than my mom! Janice, it's 10 p.m. You know it's your turn to stay with me tonight. I won't be able to sleep without you. God, is there any way for me to just evaporate right here, right now? This is too embarrassing. But wait, how did she know I was here? I immediately looked over at Christine. It must be her again. Everyone knew she had a huge crush on Jad too, and would do anything to get him. She's definitely the snitch. It's so frustrating. Anyway, let me fill you in on the situation. This crazy woman is my mom, who gave birth to not only me, but also my older sister Patty and my big brother Will. I guess we all turned out all right, but this wasn't down to Mom. She didn't raise us. Our nanny Randy did. You see, Mom used to be an actress. She was always busy with her work and her numerous flings, which resulted in each of us three having a different father. Luckily, we had Randy to take care of us, so I never felt like I was missing out on anything. On the contrary, having to see Mom all day is a problem for me. A month ago, Mom suddenly decided to retire and move in with me and my siblings. And who knew that an out-of-date star could be such a childish, clingy nightmare? Ugh! She didn't like being alone, so she insisted Patty and I had to take turns sleeping next to her. Then she forced us to accompany her to the mall and be her luggage gophers and talk to her while she went for the zillionth beauty treatment of the week. One day, after an exhausting day out with Mom, we entered the house to Will rushing over and shouting, "Mom, why did you tamper with my laptop?" It turned out that Will had applied to the Juilliard Institute, one of the most famous art institutes in New York. But Mom went on his laptop and deleted the school's acceptance email, meaning poor Will had missed out on the response deadline. Oh, sweetheart, I didn't mean to. I was trying to send an email to report those scammers on TV, but I must have accidentally deleted your email. That's probably a good thing anyway, son. It would be better to apply for an economics major at the State University, so our family won't have to be apart. Do you know how hard it was to get in there? Ugh, I can't do this right now. I'm done. Dinner with Mom tonight was super awkward. It was just me and her, as Will was simmering in his room, and Patty, well, I don't know where she was. Afterward, I passed by her room and overheard a whimpering sound. I peeked through the gap in the door and saw Will also trying to calm Patty. James is now insisting on breaking up with me. If Mom hadn't come to my company and bragged that her daughter was the manager's girlfriend, the story wouldn't have reached my boss and neither of us would be in this mess. I know, right? Mom never cared about us before, but now she thinks she can just waltz back into our lives and do whatever she wants? I've had enough of this. We're both over 18 now. Let's just move out. Oh, no. No! Look at their determined eyes. I couldn't let this happen. What about me? Please don't go. I'm not 18 yet. Don't leave me alone with Mom. I beg you. Both of them gasped when they saw me. Then after a moment of silence, Will spoke up. Okay, we won't go. But at least we need to get things back to normal. I mean, back to just the three of us and Nanny Randy living in this house. And so, Will suggested we pull a bunch of pranks that would annoy Mom so much she'd end up leaving. But they were all busy with their studies and work, so they left it to me to carry out the pranks. Okay then, I'm ready. You can see how my mom was addicted to cola from the pile of empty cans over there. She often did midnight dashes to the convenience store when she ran out. So, my first plan was to make all the cola she's just bought disappear time after time. Frustrated much? However, she was strangely calm and acted like it's no big deal at all, and even bought a drinking helmet to make sure her Coke was always with her. Attempt failed. Move on to the second plan. Hide the Nintendo Switch. Why, you ask? Every night, Mom made us play on that thing with her, and honestly speaking, she was the worst player ever, but she wouldn't accept it, and kept making us play those boring games with her until she won. Now, no Switch, no troubles, right? Wrong. As having nothing to do, she came up with much more dumb things to ask us to do with her. From teaching her to cook, gardening, and even doing yoga with her. Having Mom around is like caring for a toddler. She needs constant care and attention. It's tiring.
I can't bear it anymore. You clearly didn't carry out the tricks properly. You're making the situation even worse, don't you see? Looks like we'll have to get the job done ourselves.
Oh yeah? Fine. You guys do better then. And so they carried on by using Mom's ultimate fear of spiders. She's terrified of them. Even the teeny tiny ones were enough to cause her to climb onto a chair in fright until one of us removed it. So, Patty asked me to buy fake spiders online. Then she hid them all over our house. But this time, without panicking, she even picked it up and tossed it in our direction, which freaked us out instead. So, Will decided it was his turn to take some action. He planned that one evening I would distract Randy, and in the meantime, Will would throw a feast at home, then swiftly drag all his friends out, leaving a huge mess for Mom. Despite never lifting a finger on cleaning, Mom is actually a clean person, so it would definitely drive her crazy. But nope, once again, it didn't go as planned when Will and Patty came home to find Randy there, helping Mom clean up the whole mess. Of course, I was the one who got the blame. Again.
Janice, you told us you were able to get Randy away from the house for a day, didn't you?
I did ask her to take me to Dad's, but midway there, she realized she forgot her phone and insisted on going back. Oh, stop with all the excuses. You're so useless and always do things by halves. The spider trick must have also failed because you bought some cheap ones that looked too obviously fake.
Yeah, perhaps you've been bought off by Mom, aren't you? Spill it. Ugh,
are they seriously accusing me of betrayal right now? Enough! If you're that good, then do it all yourself. I stormed off without any extra words to them. The next morning, while watching Netflix, I heard Patty and Will arguing. It turned out Patty let her boyfriend use her car and he forgot to come pick her up to work. So she's trying to borrow Will's bike so she wouldn't be late for a meeting. But Will wouldn't let her because he had an important dance workshop to attend. Don't your dumb class just always repeat the same wriggle moves? Take the bus instead. You won't die if you're a little late.
It's not my fault your gold-digging boyfriend forgot to pick you up in your own freaking car. You should have broken up with a jerk like him ages ago.
They continued quarreling for a while until I saw Will launch his way down from upstairs shouting.
Fine, just take it. Has anyone ever been able to stop you from anything, bossy Patty?
And he headed straight outside to his bike, then came back after a bit, probably to get some air to calm down. Ugh, would these two give it a rest? How are we meant to figure out a way to win against Mom when they couldn't even go a day without bickering? Right then, Mom walked in and told me she was going to bake the cake Patty had shown her how to do yesterday. Oops, but I forgot to buy eggs. I wonder if Will needs to use the bike today. I'll borrow it just for a bit. Ha! Great! If Mom took the bike, then both of my annoying siblings would have to stop squabbling about it, right? Yes, Mom, take it. Will said he was gonna take the bus today. It'll be faster to cycle to the grocery store anyway. Then Mom hopped on the bike and shakily rode off. After a while, Will and Patty went out to the yard, and of course, the bike was no longer there. After I told them that Mom had already taken the bike, Will stopped dead. Because the truth was that he had purposely broken the brake so that Patty wouldn't take it. Patty tried calling Mom, but she didn't pick up. Then came a call from Randy. She told us that Mom had crashed the bike and had been hospitalized. Oh no. We rushed there immediately, and fortunately, apart from a ligament sprain, she's fine. It could have been much worse, but that meant she had to wear a bandage for a whole month to stabilize her leg. Ugh, this was all our fault, so now we had no choice but to whimper to Mom's every demand. Mom insisted I spoon-feed her all of her meals. When I mentioned that there was nothing wrong with her hands, she told me that the trauma to her leg had affected her entire body. She made Patty light loads of candles, play soothing melodies, and rearrange her bedroom furniture so she had a relaxing space to heal. And she got Will to download her old movies for her and feed her popcorn while she watched them on repeat. Of course, we were really worried about her and hoped she'd recover as soon as possible, but honestly, her ridiculous demands were going too far. Then, one day, she insisted we go to a picnic, as sitting inside all day was making her depressed. So, we did exactly just that. Then, while we were walking on a slope, I dropped my bag and bent down to pick it up. Oops, I forgot to lock the wheelchair's wheels. I gasped as I saw Mom whiz down the hill. But immediately, she hopped out of the chair and landed on her feet perfectly fine. Will and Patty stared in confusion at Mom's cascade-like performance. What about me?
Nah, I'm not surprised at all, because I was the one who set this whole thing up to expose Mom. Nanny Randy has told me everything. I know she has been helping you dodging our tricks, as well as carrying out that fake bike accident. Please, why do you have to make life so difficult for us? You never even cared about us, did you? As soon as I finished, Mom burst into tears. Then she began to pour her heart out. As it turned out, after her career finished, all the fortune, glory, friends, colleagues, and even men who once said that they'd love her for the rest of their lives, turned their backs on her. She was extremely lonely and needed us, her children, more than ever. Now, I only have 3 of you. In the past, I didn't fulfill my responsibilities as a mother, and I know I let you all down. But now, I realize my mistakes. I only did what I did because I wanted to draw you back close to me. Please, forgive me. Give her a chance, kids. Although your mother's actions were somewhat misjudged, she only did them because she genuinely cares about you. Janice, she worried your partying was causing you to neglect your studies. Well, she didn't want your dancing dreams leading to showbiz nightmares like hers. And Patty, trust your mom, she was right this time. Turns out, Mom once caught James, the manager, aka Patty's boyfriend, secretly dating the receptionist. So she intentionally made a fuss at Patty's office to deter the third wheel. However, what came after didn't go as she expected and led to such a mess. But now, mission complete. We came here to catch Patty's cheating boyfriend red-handed. Or should I say, her ex-boyfriend. And of course, we made sure he paid for a worthy price for his actions. Justice has been served. Now, to relax. Patty and Mom are getting along much better now. They even look more like an endearing couple of sisters than mother and daughter. Will's taking Mom to one of his contemporary dance shows, so she can see how important it is to him. And me? I may be the youngest in the family, but while Will's away, it's my job to make sure Mom has someone to lean on. And I'm glad to take on this role. Maybe having my mom around isn't actually bad after all.
Just one step into the hallway, and I could already hear all kinds of whispers going all around. What happened? Did you forget, Sandra? It's Monday. Oh, not again. Who's the unlucky victim this week? Dorothy! It's Dorothy! Look what embarrassing deed she's done. So, it was a photo of the resident mean girl, Dorothy, on a date with some old rich guy. Ben and I had zero interest in those kinds of things, but these kids, on the other hand... Hey, there she is! This was the 3rd Monday in a row that our school had turned into this gossiping chaos zone. Why, you ask? 3 weeks ago, out of nowhere, a bunch of random QR codes appeared stuck to some of the lockers. Curious, we scanned them and got access to this mysterious blog by someone called Quiet Night. They said they wanted to expose the true face of this prestigious school. So, every Monday at 2 a.m., they would reveal someone's dirty secret. And the first secret belonged to the beloved basketball team captain, Lewis. Turns out he flunked the last match on purpose so the rival school that his secret girlfriend attended would win. At first, everyone doubted it, but then someone found the girlfriend's Twitter where she posted a celebration photo. So, there you go. Everything became clear as day. Lewis immediately lost his captain title and the entire school cancelled him. While everyone was still buzzing with that, already came the next Monday's secret. It was Mr. Worthing, our popular math teacher. His classes were known for their top performances. But as it turned out, he had always accidentally leaked the questions to his students before every exam. The rumor reached the principal, and he immediately had people look into it. Unfortunately, it was true, so Mr. Worthing was fired. And as you've heard, little Miss Dorothy was the 3rd unfortunate victim. To be honest, she definitely hadn't been the nicest girl. She's a nightmare to all the new kids especially. So when her shameful secret was revealed, everyone seemed to be somewhat satisfied and talked about it nonstop. My BFF, Mary, was no exception, as Dorothy was a rival for her queen bee status. At lunchtime, we arrived at the cafeteria, but weirdly, nobody lined up to get lunch. They were all looking around at something. Turns out Dorothy was here too. She's sitting alone at a table. Not wanting to miss an opportunity to taunt her longtime rival, Mary rushed straight over there. What's wrong? Your bald lover didn't take you out to lunch today? As soon as those words came out of Mary's mouth, everyone burst out laughing. Benjamin and I had to drag Mary out of there right away to avoid any calamities. What are you guys doing? I'm not done yet.
This isn't cool. Let's just stay out of it.
What? She deserves it. You know the clearest what a horrible person she is, Sandra. Or have you forgotten how she picked on you? Well, it's true. I was also one of Dorothy's victims when I just got here. Ben and Mary were the ones who stuck up for me. That's also how our precious friendship all started. Ever since then, we've been the iconic trio of the smartest kids at school. Pretty sweet, huh? However, the recent dramas have undeniably affected our studies. It's like students are coming here just to gossip, and they keep chatting in class, making concentrating extra hard. Monday mornings became the biggest event in school. Everyone looked forward to it, guessing who's the next chosen one, as the embarrassing secrets continued seeping out. How Justin looks cool chewing his gum all the time, but he actually does this to mask his bad breath problem. Hardworking Julia bought her essays off the internet. The parking lot car spray painter turned out to be none other than Goody Two-Shoes Brandon. It became apparent that any one of us could be next. So people started to panic, praying that their name wouldn't be mentioned. Every Monday morning, I arrived at school to see everyone looking like zombies, cause they'd all stayed up all night waiting for the Quiet Nights post. The mystery blogger had to be one of us to know all kinds of personal secrets like this, so everyone became extra cautious of each other. It's a mess, and this has to stop. We needed to figure out who the Quiet Night was and stop this, but Mary wasn't convinced. How are we supposed to find them? There's zero clue. Stop wasting time. Let's just focus on studying, Sandra. There's no way they didn't leave any trace. We just have to stand up together. Nope. If you want to, then just do it alone. What's wrong with you? Weren't you usually the first one to avoid dramas like these? Because we could be next. So what? I'm not scared. I have nothing to hide. Then she left in a sulky manner. Mary might not care, but I did. I spent the night trying to piece the clues together when my phone had a pop-up. Was it 2 a.m. already? Who could it be this week? I pressed to see. It's Mary! Oh no, is it about that thing? Yep, that's it. The secret about Mary's background has been revealed. Her parents aren't successful business owners, and of course, Mary is not a rich mistress like how she always acted like either. I accidentally found out about this when I saw her bargaining about the rent in front of a small house in the suburbs. When I asked Mary why she had to lie like that, she just got all defensive. What do you know? If people knew the truth, they would laugh in my face. I, of course, didn't want to hurt Mary, so I always kept it a secret. But now, everyone has found out in the worst way. The next day, Ben and I saw Mary walking toward us, looking exhausted, while everyone's eyes were on her.
Yo, how'd you think she's able to afford those flashy outfits?
Didn't that blogger say she always wears cheap secondhand clothes? Pathetic.
Hearing those words, Ben and I gave those kids death stares and rushed to get Mary out of the crowd, but she suddenly snapped at me.
Sandra, you're behind all of this, aren't you?
Huh? What? Mary, what do you mean? Why would I do that?
You're the only one who knew my secret. If it wasn't you, who else could it be? You are the Quiet Night.
What she said quickly caught everyone's attention, and I felt everyone's curious eyes fixed on us. Mary, that's not right. Remember, it's Sandra who called on everyone to find the culprit.
That was clearly a distraction to fool everyone.
Mary then continued explaining her reasonings for why she suspected me. The blogger only ever typed in lowercase just like I always did, and she also mentioned my habit of staying up late. To make it even worse, the next Monday, that blogger suddenly stopped posting, making everyone certain it was me. So I was instantly labeled a traitor to my friends and even a germ who raised hatred among students in this school. Everywhere I went, people badmouthed me, and no one except for Benjamin wanted to sit by me at lunch. I wasn't even allowed in the library anymore, as everyone would be talking about me, which would cause disturbance. Worst of all, the teachers hated me too. One time in math class, I volunteered to solve a difficult equation, but all I got back from the teacher was, "Sandra, if only you just used your intelligence for studying, not for messing up other people's lives." Then everyone heartlessly laughed at my face. The tension was draining me, so I went out to take a breather. After recess, I got back to the classroom to find a box in my desk drawer. Oh no, wasn't it the love letters I'd written for Louis? I mean, yes, I used to have a crush on the basketball captain, but it was a long time ago, and I never sent the letters. How come they are all here?
I sure had hidden them in the corner of my locker. Is it the creepy quiet night messing with me? Ugh, that's enough. I gotta unmask this jerk ASAP. Who could it be? Who had the ability to spy on people undetected? I was trying to figure this out when a smug-looking Dorothy appeared. Geez, look at her. Can't believe she's the coward who destroys what she couldn't have. Too bad for Louis that he ended up involved in this. Oh, such a pathetic little girl. Doesn't even have the guts to send any of the letters. Oh my god. Did they just say letters? What letters? What on earth are you talking about? There's no mistaking your handwriting. She showed me bunches of photos of my letters. Oh no, did she take revenge on me because she thought I was the snitch of her dating news? Not leaving me a chance to explain, they just laughed and continued mocking me. I couldn't face going to school and being tormented for something I didn't even do. So I faked being sick to stay home for a few days. But it's been a week and I still didn't feel better. Suddenly, there was a strange sound by the window. Turns out it was Benjamin.
Sandra, please stop hiding away. You can't let them beat you. You're better than this.
What else can I do? Everyone's convinced it was me.
Follow me. I know someone who can help.
Now, I was sitting in a cafe with Benjamin and Max, an IT genius in our school. Benjamin insisted this guy could help identify the anonymous blogger. After just a few minutes of checking the IP, Max has been able to track it down. But, it led to Mary's place? No way. This makes no sense. I gotta talk to Mary.
Calm down. Don't say a word about this to anyone for now. Just let me take care of it.
I had no clue what Benjamin was planning. He said he would help me clear up the case, but nothing happened for days. Until now, he insisted I'd come to watch this basketball game. What's the point? It just gave others a chance to mock me further. While immersed in my thoughts, suddenly I heard someone's voice on the loudspeaker. It was Benjamin.
Hi everyone. I'm sure you guys are tired of the Quiet Nights blog by now, right? Yeah, at first, I just wanted to entertain you all a bit after boring hours of studying. But I guess it's no longer fun, huh? I'm sorry then. I'll stop now. Thanks for tuning in.
What on earth is he doing? Now the entire sports hall was buzzing.
Is it really you?
Benjamin was about to reply when Mary jumped out. No, it can't be you. Stop wasting time protecting Sandra. How could you possibly know where her love letters were kept? Or about Dorothy's secret?
So, you tell me, who knew those things then?
Mary looked taken aback and confused. Then Dorothy appeared. It's her. It's her who gave me Sandra's locker key. What? So it really was Mary. I was still hoping that Ben's friend made a mistake somewhere instead, but... Why, Mary? I don't understand. Of course you don't. You're not in my shoes to judge. Turns out at first, Mary created the blog for the sole purpose of getting revenge on Louis for being a cheater. He always told Mary that he wanted to date in secret to avoid peering eyes, but it was just an excuse so he could sneak around with other girls. Which is why this was news to both Ben and me. How about the math teacher? What has he ever done to you? He had no work ethic, so he deserved it. I always studied really hard, but he said that girls like me only ever cared about our appearance. He still thought my good grades were from copying these two. And you, Dorothy, it serves you right for the arrogant habit of bossing newbies around. Then she blatantly left the crowd as if she had nothing to do with the school drama all this time. I tried to chase after her, but I was stuck amid this angry crowd. There's still something she hasn't explained yet. The following days, Mary still went to school, but all of the other students isolated her. Benjamin and I tried to approach her, but she went out of her way to avoid us. So, after school, we decided to follow her. We saw her going to the cafeteria, but not to buy things, but to help the lunch lady clean up. Mary, stop being like this. You've still got a friend in me, but don't you think I deserve an explanation too? She then finally sat down and talked to us. Mary would have stopped after exposing the 3 people she hated, but when she saw everyone eagerly waiting for the news every Monday, she found it interesting and continued to bring up other embarrassing things. But then, when things started getting serious, she panicked and looked for someone to blame, and that person was me! Because I was the one who first came up with the idea of tracking down this anonymous blogger. Furthermore, she was angry with me for finding out her secret. Envious because I got better grades than her, and jealous because I was closer to Ben than she was.
Mary admitted she felt outshined and left out. So you decided to expose your own secret you kept for so long just to frame me? Do you hate me that much?
No, Sandra, it's not like that. I'm really sorry. As for that secret, I had tried to act like a hot girl from a rich family just to be worthy of that jerk Louis. But since I know he's a bad guy, there's no point of keeping that secret anyway.
Ben and I leaned over and hugged her, saying it was all okay. As long as we are honest from now on, we'd be able to sort everything out. After that, we helped Mary clean up the messy tables in the cafeteria. And can you believe it? The lunch lady is actually Mary's mother. She was the one who unintentionally told Mary all the petty secrets that everyone gossiped about while getting lunch. Mary has always hidden the fact her mom's the lunch lady, but after being exposed and boycotted, she gave up and decided not to try hard for the popular girl title anymore, but just to be herself. I knew that this was hard for Mary, but deep down she has a good heart, else she wouldn't have befriended me when I first started at this school. Living up to the expectations of being the school's it girl must have been exhausting. It's been a semester full of drama, hasn't it? Phew, lucky it's almost over. Now we're in a hurry to revise all lessons together to prepare finals week. We still compete with each other a lot, but this time it's fair and square. The three of us already decided that whoever gets the lowest score will have to take the other two out for dinner. Free food, here I come, as I definitely am not going to lose.
I was grabbing a book out of my locker when some guy's shout startled me.
Hey everyone, the results are over here!
Oh, it's just the results of the Mind Buzz, our annual high school general knowledge competition. People, what's the rush? Don't we all know what it'll be like already? See, nothing's changed. That's my name, there, the first place of Willowmere High, as always. And of course, what came along with it were endless praises from everyone.
Way to go, Millie, you're our school's superhero!
Oh my gosh, you're amazing, I'm so jealous of you. Yep. Hi, I'm Millie, the girl who always aces every school contest and is therefore adored by the other students, all the teachers, and the principal. Later that day, as soon as I stepped out of art class, Alice, my excitable best friend, jumped out of nowhere and squealed out, I just found this really cool place. We have to go there right now. No chance. I have the final round of the Blast from the Past contest tomorrow. I mean, history is my forte, so I'm sure to win, but I still want to cram in some last-minute studying. Come on. We all know you'll win anyway. You even said that yourself. So let's just hang out for a little, please. Fine, but only 'cause I'm an amazing friend. Okay, I have to admit, this place was actually kind of cool. It's an adorable cafe hidden at the end of a street corner. But wait a minute, what's up with that sticker on the window? Isn't that the Leafmore High School symbol? No way we're setting foot in that taboo place. I tried tugging on Alice's arm and gesturing for us to leave, but she stood her ground and replied, Come on, Millie, we have to try their croissants. All the food bloggers are talking about it. But this is Leafmore's territory. Look. So? It's not like anyone will recognize us. Before I could comprehend what was happening, she dragged me inside. Oh well, it seems like we've gone too far to draw back, so I may as well sample what this place has to offer. Why was our order taking so long? And what was with Alice? Ugh, how many selfies did one girl need to take? I was clenching my fists to stop myself from anxiously fidgeting when two boys walked towards our table.
Hey, cutie. I've not seen you in here before. What grade are you in?
Oh no. How should I answer this question? I quickly turned away, pretending to rummage through my bag to avoid his gaze. But they still didn't leave me alone, as the other guy said, Wait, this girl doesn't seem to be from our school. Are you? Oh snap. Did he recognize me? My skin turned clammy with nerves and I thought I was going to throw up. Then suddenly a voice rang out.
Sorry I'm late. Have you been waiting long?
Then he plonked himself down next to us. Seeing that, the two guys left. Phew! But who is this guy? Do we know him? Oh my god, Evan, it's you! Is that the new Calvin Klein cologne? It smells amazing on you. Huh? Evan? As in, Evan Summers? The top student in Leafmore, aka my biggest competition in tomorrow's contest? To Alice's excitement and my puzzled look, Evan just lightly smiled, then got up to leave. He's indeed a cold angel. What? All he was to me was arrogant. You're probably wondering what the deal between Willowmere and Leafmore is, right? They're the two biggest high schools in this town, but like the same poles of magnets, they repel each other. The two schools have been rivals since forever, competing with each other from academic achievements to collective activities. In competitions organized by the town, such as marathons, Halloween decorations, or even cooking contests. And of course, the students from both schools despise each other so much that we have boundaries in town. For example, this cafe is only for Leafmore students, while only Willowmere students are allowed in that bookstore. Breaking these rules could lead to outright carnage. The schools take this super seriously. Hence, there's even a rule saying we can't interact with each other. And dating is a real no-no. You see, as the top student in Willowmere, I can't let anyone find out I've stepped foot in Leafmore territory, as if they do, my life won't be worth living. And also, because of my #1 position, I have a responsibility to help my school win as many prizes as possible. And this history contest is no exception. I anxiously waited for the host to announce the results. And the last 20 points go to Leafmore High School, which makes them the winners of today's contest. From the other side of the hall, the Leafmore students erupted into applause, and they all charged at Evan and hugged him. Seeing the arrogant Evan with a triumphant face made me even more upset. Congratulations, you were amazing! Alice, we lost. Only by 5 points. Second place is still good, but it was me who was defeated by that Evan. Poor Alice is still trying to keep her shy smile at me. I didn't want to take it out on her either, so I quickly left. The next day I was walking along the school corridor, minding my own business, when I passed a group of students gossiping about me. Poof, she defo lost the quiz on purpose. Yeah, her question was so easy. Everyone knows that the first US dollar was printed in 1862. Why were they saying such mean things about me? I tried my best to ignore their jibes and distract myself with my phone. But what is this? Someone had uploaded a picture of me, Alice, and Evan all sitting together in that cafe the other day. Oh no. And worse still, from this angle, we all looked kind of close. Furious, I went to leave, but Polly, this annoying girl, blocked my way and mocked me. Millie, if you don't like this place, you could have transferred schools. Losing to Leafmore on purpose is just embarrassing. I did no such thing. Not that it's any of your business. I hurried away from her and her smirking friends. The problem is, it seemed like the entire school had seen that picture and concluded that I'm a traitor. At least things couldn't get any worse, right? Wrong. My bad luck continued when I got my English Lit essay back. A B-. This can't be right. I never get anything lower than an A. Ever! I was checking through my test when suddenly there was an announcement on the speaker, asking me to come to the principal's office. Millie, you're usually such an excellent student, but I've received some unpleasant news about you recently, and your grades are slipping significantly. I could only stare down at the floor and mumbled, I'm really sorry. I'd never been scolded by the principal before. This was the worst day of my life. Miss Garcia was silent for a moment before she continued. However, I still have faith in you, so I'm giving you one last chance to prove yourself. The town's hosting a Rube Goldberg machine camp and our school must win. Can you make that happen, Millie? I forced a smile and nodded. No problem, ma'am. The first prize will be ours. Trust me. This is my chance to show everyone that I'm devoted to this school. However, there's one teensy tiny problem. Physics is not my forte. It's all right. I just gotta do my best, right? I spent the next 2 weeks planning, researching, and testing out ideas with my group. We finally managed to create the perfect Rube Goldberg machine. It includes 15 genius steps to complete the final task. We're surely gonna secure all these bonus points. Finally, the camp weekend arrived, and I was super stoked to show off my team's entry. Tomorrow will be it. I'll get Willowmere's name back on top again. Then suddenly, Miss Garcia tapped my shoulder and gestured me over to an empty corner and worriedly said, Leafmore's machine is highly praised by the judges. At this rate, they're most likely to win, and that'll mean humiliation for us. Don't worry, I'm trying my best. We'll add some extra magnets and springs. It's no use. The only way we'll win over Leafmore is if their entry encounters problems. She sighed, then turned to leave. Feeling deflated, I stared down at my feet. That's when I saw a pocket knife, with Miss Garcia's name printed on it, lying on the ground. I picked it up and called out,
Miss, you dropped your knife! But Miss Garcia didn't stop walking or turn back, and just did a snipping gesture with her fingers. Could it be that Miss Garcia meant... Yep, definitely. That's the only way. So that night, I waited until everyone else was asleep, then I snuck into the gallery and cut a piece of wire holding the light bulb of Leafmore's model. That should be enough. I was about to leave the room when suddenly the lights came on.
What are you doing here? You just did this, didn't you?
Yeah? So what? Go ahead, tell on me if you want.
This is all so meaningless.
Then he sat down and started fixing his model. Huh? What's meaningless? Good God, he's so full of himself. Fine then. Just you wait, Evan. I'll beat you with my own talent. Let's see if you'll still be Mr. Arrogant then. It was my team's turn, and for the first 3 steps, the Rube Goldberg machine worked quite smoothly. But when it came to the 4th step, suddenly the wooden slide collapsed, causing the marble to fall to the ground and the machine to stop working. We all stared at each other in panic. No, this couldn't be happening. We tested it many times this morning and it had worked perfectly fine. I rushed over to check what was wrong with the machine, but I struggled and couldn't find a way to fix it, when suddenly a voice said,
"Let me see."
I looked up. It was Evan. I stepped aside to make room for him, when suddenly Ms. Garcia appeared.
I see what's happened here. Clearly, Leafmore High knew the only way they'd win was by sabotaging the best entry.
The whole hall started to stir, but I felt my skin prickle with unease. I didn't think this was Leafmore's doing. Look at Evan. He didn't even bother telling the judges about last night's incident. Immediately after that, Leafmore's principal, Miss Harris, said,
"Ms. Garcia, you can't go around accusing us without proof. Clearly, you're the one who feels the need for underhand tactics to win, not us."
Then she held out her phone and circled the crowd so everyone could see. I gasped in shock. There on the screen was a picture of me standing next to Leafmore's model with a knife. Miss Harris continued,
"Seeing as we managed to fix it in time, we decided not to mention anything else about it. But then you dared to accuse us."
The crowd glared and tutted at me, and I longed for the floor to swallow me whole. I'd put blood, sweat, and tears into creating our model, and now people just thought I was a cheat. The worst part was they were right. I was one. The jury went off to discuss this. Then they announced their conclusion. Willowmere had been disqualified. Immediately, Mrs. Garcia piped in.
"This is hardly fair. That was the action of one individual, not the whole group. I assure you that Millie is no longer on the team, so let my school continue to compete without her."
I froze in shock. How could Miss Garcia do this to me? It had been all her idea, hadn't it? She'd given me the knife. The realization of what just happened hit me, and I fell to my knees and burst into tears. All that hard work, and for nothing. Even Alice hugging me in comfort didn't release me from my gut-wrenching, sinking feeling. Then to my surprise, Evan said,
"Mrs. Garcia, can you explain why I found this knife with your name engraved on it next to our model?"
He raised the knife up for everyone to see. Oops. In all the stress of last night, I must have dropped it. Miss Garcia turned ghostly pale and everyone started to buzz about it.
"I can't believe you colluded with your students to do this. You're no different from her. Last night Miss Harris instructed me to tamper with Willowmere's model, but I refused. As if we win, I wanted it to be fairly."
The whole hall once again began to stir and gawped on amazed as Evan continued.
"I'm so tired of the petty feud between our schools. It's so dumb and meaningless."
The jury went off to discuss this further and came back with a new announcement. Both schools were disqualified. It's shameful. But, well, it's for the best. We really don't deserve to be here. Oh boy, that sure was eventful. The scandal between the two schools was hot gossip in the town for days. They even brought it up at the monthly town meeting. That's when the truth came out that Ms. Garcia and Miss Harris had history. They were in the same year at school and were fiercely competitive against each other. So, years later, when both of them became principals of the two schools, they began this whole feud war. In the end, both principals were forced to leave their positions. So, now what? Well, there aren't any dumb rules about where I can go anymore, which is good, because I actually really like it here. I've learned my lesson, and I'm never going to let anyone pressure me into cheating ever again.
peace has returned to school life, and it feels good. Oh, and as for Evan, I'm actually studying with him right now for our next Blast from the Past quiz. Only this time, I'm definitely going to beat him. Ugh, who's calling at this hour? Orla, your sister is having a wedding this weekend. Make arrangements to attend. My sister Rowan is having a what now? She had never had a date, and she's only 19. Are you still listening, Orla? Surely you have a boyfriend by now, so bring him along. Boyfriend? Yeah, right. As if I haven't been absolutely caught up with school lately. No matter what I did, in Mom's eyes, I was always the idle one who partied around with boys, while Rowan was obedient and hard-working. Ugh! You see, my parents divorced ages ago, so I live with my father in Atlanta, and my mom and sister Rowan live in the suburbs of Denver with my grandma. It's been a long time since I've met her, so I wouldn't mind paying a visit on this occasion. Only, where am I meant to find a guy at this short notice? My dear hometown, it's been a hot minute. Oh, there's Paul.
Sorry I kept you waiting. Let's go, gorgeous.
Let me introduce my boyfriend, a local college boy that I found on the internet. Even though we're on business terms, look at him. Handsome, gallant, and polite. I hit the jackpot. As we pulled up at the house, I saw my grandma waiting outside with a casual-looking guy. Oh, he must be my future brother-in-law. I happily ran over to hug Grandma. Rowan, you're back. Mata has been waiting for you. My, look at our match made in heaven. Is she confusing me with Rowan? I was about to correct her when suddenly the guy pulled me close and said,
We are indeed a charming couple, aren't we, honey?
Excuse me? Where is he putting his hand on? And is his eyesight just as bad as Grandma's to think I was Rowan? Just then, Rowan stepped forward, but strangely, she just smiled at us, then linked arms with Paul. And this is my boyfriend, Grandma. Do you think we look great together? What's wrong with everyone? Had I been zapped into some parallel universe or something? Suddenly, Rowan dragged me across the garden. Then she told me how Grandma had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, which had progressed so quickly recently, meaning sometimes she forgets. Other times she remembers, muddling everyone and everything. Not wanting to upset or confuse her, my mom and sister decided to act according to Grandma's memories, including this wedding. And of course, that Mata guy is not my sister's real fiancé, just a close classmate. But now she's confusing the two of us, so the lead role in this wedding play is yours now. Grandma's memory was deteriorating. Yeah, that sucks. But was a fake wedding necessary? Also, the thought of pairing up with that rude Mata guy sickened me. No way!
Listen to your sister, kid. Everyone is doing it for Grandma.
Did he just call me kid? Okay, that's it. This guy needs to know his place. But before I could jump at him, both my parents appeared and started lecturing me. Ugh, whatever. I stood my ground. Faking a marriage is ridiculous. Happy now? Dad's little girl is acting spoiled again.
Please, I raised her just fine. And you, if you'd taken care of your mother better, she wouldn't have been this way.
Not again. They only see each other once every couple of years, but the bickering always followed almost instantly. What's going on? You two have never been at odds. What's wrong? At the sight of Grandma, Mom and Dad suddenly took a 180. A moment ago, they were screaming each other's heads off, but now they're being all smiley, lovey-dovey. How ridiculous. But did Grandma really not remember that my parents were divorced? Her condition seemed to be as bad as they said. This meant I had no choice but to go along with their plan to make her happy. However, I was no professional actor. Constantly improvising according to Grandma's memories was not easy, especially when I was stuck with the annoying Mata for a scene partner. My mind was too full of thoughts to sleep properly, so I got up extra early and went for a stroll in the garden. Out of nowhere, Mata ran to me and grabbed my hand.
Did you sleep well last night, Bae?
Huh? Who's he acting for? In this empty garden? Or is this just an excuse to touch me? I forced my hand away from his, but then he had the audacity to whisper in my ear.
Shush, Grandma's watching us from upstairs.
Ugh, what a creep. Meanwhile, Rowan said she wanted to please Grandma, but actually, she wasn't even a little bit cooperative. At lunch, while I had to squeeze out a smile as Mata spoon-fed me soup, Rowan was being distant toward Paul, her boyfriend. Paul, my sister, also likes being fed. Right. That's her favorite dish. Paul got the point right away, so he scooped up some soup and gave it to Rowan as Grandma watched expectantly. But for some reason, my sister seemed irritated, shoved his hand away, and said she's allergic to it, which was some total nonsense. Grandma was obviously discontent hearing that, then stood up to leave the table first. What's the matter with you, Rowan? You didn't have to look so annoyed in front of Grandma. Why can't you just work with Paul? That's how Rowan's always been. She's shy and couldn't open up easily to strange guys as you can. What did she mean by that? Before I could reply, Dad came to my defense. How can you say that? Isn't Orla trying her best to play her part and not make Grandma suspect a thing? Oh, so you two are doing great, and we're just ruining everything? There they go again. Usually Rowan and I would just stand there and watch, because only our Grandma can stop their fights. And this time was no exception. As soon as they saw Grandma, my parents immediately turned around and held each other's hands. Maida was just as quick when he grabbed my arm as well as Grandma's, and then invited us for a walk. Hey, who are you? Why are you being so friendly to us? Oh dear. It was only a few seconds ago and her memory of him had already vanished. I immediately said Maida and I went to the same college and he was visiting me. I thought that was it, but no. Speaking of college, she immediately asked why we were home when we should be at school. The whole family froze at her reaction. My parents carefully mentioned the wedding to see if she remembered anything, but she snapped. How can you talk about marriage when my 2 grandchildren are still of school age? Have you two lost your mind? So, the next morning, I had to go to the university with Rowan. But the cherry on top was riding this tiny pink bicycle together per Grandma's order. This was embarrassing, but how can we refuse? She only recalled the old memories. So I wandered around here all day waiting for Maida and Rowan to finish their classes. Suddenly, I spotted Paul with some girls. Hey, what are you doing here? Oh, Orla. I'm just giving directions to these freshmen. Actually, I'm waiting to pick up your sister. Wow, Paul seems to have a real crush on Rowan. I have to help my timid as a hare sister seize the opportunity. I took Paul to the lecture hall just as class was wrapping up, then pushed Rowan towards him, wished them a happy outing, and quickly pulled Maida away to give the couple some space. Finally, I could go home. But just as we reached the college gate, we saw Dad helping Grandma come this way. Seeing my face turn pale, Dad immediately explained that Grandma thought today was my first day of college, so she insisted on coming to pick us up. Jeez, it was bad enough coming here on a tiny pink bike. I drew the line at my dad and Grandma picking me up. I wasn't a preschooler. I was assigned to tidy the football field. It's my turn on duty today. Don't wait for me. Oh, is that so? Take your time. I'll look around for a while. I looked at Maida, hoping he had some idea to get me out of this, but he just grinned and took the broom from me. Come on, let's clean up this place. I was only gonna fake cleaning a bit, but turns out Grandma's the most meticulous supervisor ever. Orla, there's some trash over there. Look closely, honey, there are dry leaves in the corner. Then, you have to wipe these stains with a wet cloth. As soon as she went away, I lay on the field, panting with exhaustion. Aren't you tired? Oh man, I'm already drained out. Can't imagine how bad it's gonna get for me at Grandma's age. Poor her. It's scary how one day we might forget our family. Birth, aging, sickness, death, these are things we can't change. Orla, but one thing we could do is cherishing every moment with our loved ones as these times are special. I was so wrong when initially I considered Maida as an impolite, annoying person. His deep thoughts made me feel comfortable enough to pour my heart out about my family. Why my parents divorced, why I didn't visit Grandma as much as I should have, and all the fights with my sister Rowan. We talked loads, and it felt like we've known each other forever. That night I kept tossing and turning, and couldn't stop thinking about how Maida diligently helped me clean up, about our conversation in the afternoon, and the way he helped me stand up. Oh, what's wrong with me? It's undeniable that this side of him is so attractive. But there's one problem. When we were leaving, he said to me, "See you tomorrow, Rowan." Yes, Rowan. How could he? Was it because all these acts in front of my grandma got him mixed up? Or is it because she's always on his mind? Never mind. It's none of my business. The next day I was sick of strolling around the campus, so I went to class with Rowan and Maida. Rowan's right. They seemed really close. During the lesson, both of them listened attentively to the lecturer, then turned to discuss with each other. Maida also patiently explained the part Rowan didn't understand to her. Hey, what are we gonna have for lunch? What's good in the canteen?
You will take this course next year too, so focus.
And then they got back to their discussion, as if I was invisible. Ugh, how frustrating. Hey, are you jealous? Don't be, we're just friends. Why did she say that? Jealous? That's absurd. Still sulking? How about we go to the cinema tonight? I'll help you too. And here we are. As planned, I would sit next to Maida while Rowan would be with Paul. Sounds good. But when Rowan was about to settle next to Paul, Maida immediately took that seat. So he didn't want to sit next to me, or he didn't want Rowan to be with Paul? Either way, he obviously didn't have feelings for me. As soon as the movie ended, I rushed out of there, just to catch some familiar sight of Grandma and Dad again. She started nagging and insisted on escorting me home. Why are you still out here at this hour, Rowan? There was a lot to prepare for the wedding. Now the wedding's back on? Oh dear, you two. A groom-to-be shouldn't be playing around like this. Paul? Why don't you pair me with Maida like before, Grandma? After all, we were back to our former partners. I'm with Paul and Maida with Rowan. Well, it's just a fake wedding, so it doesn't matter who I was marrying to, right? But what was this uneasy feeling? And then, it's like Grandma had telepathy to hear my wish. Right before the ceremony started, her memory suddenly reset. What are you doing sitting here? It's time. Get up there. She dragged Maida to the altar and told the best man, Paul, to step aside. Oh, how cute. And everything after that was like a dream. I walked down the aisle. Maida gently looked at me and sincerely made the vow. His acting was flawless, while I was buzzing with nerves. Sensing this, he gently held my hands to calm me down. I do. The crowd burst into applause, and among them I spotted Grandma's joyful face. Despite the exciting moment, I didn't let myself forget another important mission, which was helping my big sister to get a boyfriend. So I threw the bouquet to Rowan and winked at Paul. But weirdly, she didn't seem happy about this. That evening, after all the guests left, I went to look for Maida. To be honest, I really wanted to know if he felt the same as me. Here he was, but why did he look so agitated? I was about to call him when out of the blue he bolted to punch Paul repeatedly.
You jerk, stay away from Rowan, got it?
What's going on? They're fighting because of Rowan? So Maida really was pretending at the ceremony? He liked Rowan, not me. Didn't you say you're just friends with Maida? What's all this? Friends don't get jealous when someone else is flirting with you. Orla, it's not what you think. Knew it. She thought she could fool me again? I turned around and was about to chase after Paul to check on him, but someone's hand grabbed mine. It was Maida.
Paul is not as kind as you think he is.
Turned out the reason why Rowan was awkward around Paul was because he always tried to touch her. Not to mention girls on social media were calling him out for taking advantage of them and cheating on them. Both Maida and Rowan knew it all, but they tried to put up with it through the wedding. However, he kept crossing the line, so today Maida decided to teach him a lesson.
So how I acted at the movies that day and just now was to protect my friend, not because I'm jealous.
I didn't know he did so much for my family. Orla, how come you're here? Isn't it still the school year? And also, your parents are so weird. When did they make up with each other? Oh, she called me by my name. She even questioned who Maida was. Her memory seems to be perfectly back. Thinking our grandma had recovered, Rowan quickly called our parents. We were over the moon thinking a miracle had happened. But then, the doctor crushed our newfound joy, saying it was a phenomenon called terminal lucidity, meaning our grandma didn't have much time left. None of us wanted to believe it, but there was nothing else we could do but make the most out of the precious little time we had left with her. I also decided to put college on hold to live with Grandma during her last days. Each morning, we would go for a walk together as I listened to her stories of the old days, and then share with her some of my fondest memories. Mom and Dad still bicker and then make up. Some things never change. But Rowan and I are getting along much better. Turns out we have more in common than we realized. And Maida, he still comes over to visit Grandma. Then one day, Maida was saying goodbye to me when Grandma suddenly shouted out loud, "Where do you think you're going? Still got loads to prepare." You think the wedding is a joke or something? Wedding again? We froze and looked at each other till Grandma yelled at us a second time. But this round, maybe Maida and I wouldn't need to act anymore. 'Cause when I asked him if he was ready to take a vow again, he replied,
Of course, Orla. I'm always ready to say those words to you every day.